Autobots, I cannot come on this ride.
And welcome back. We have not only a special guest of the Careful Boys out here, an amazing future chief.
You're our chief. You're our chief.
And
Chief Strong. Chief Strong.
Esteemed Professor.
And he's Professor
There's
Strong.
a lot of freaking things,
A
man.
lot of hats. A lot of different hats.
He wears many hats.
But also a social media phenom.
You guys have just embellished everything.
I don't know.
Social
we're
media.
speaking on your oath,
kid.
man.
I put my hand on the Bible before we started it.
Yo, we gotta talk about some of this social media stuff because you had just brought up this Kiki challenge thing that
Yeah.
I think we all saw, but I didn't know who you were back then.
I wanted this video to go away so bad. It's coming back. But yeah, it's a good lesson that whatever you post never goes. I deleted it from my page, but it's still out there. So
Repost it.
yeah, I can't now. Wait, before you say anything about it, just show it first, so that everyone can see it, no context. I think it's In My Feelings challenge and Asian cop. It's hard to find.
Dude, I have seen this.
It's on a lot
This
of
one?
reaction videos.
This one? No.
Maybe that one.
You have lived a lot of life, sir.
No.
Check on YouTube.
Alright.
Meanwhile, this guy just does jujitsu.
I have no challenges, dude. I gotta start doing some challenges.
Should do the
Fake
beehive
falling.
challenge.
Edging challenge?
I
can do edging challenge.
Punch the beehive and run away.
Do the hornet challenge. Yeah.
Hornet's Nest challenge?
Hornet's nest.
What's that?
Put your head in a hornet's nest. Run around for a little bit.
Yeah, stand next to a hornet's nest and do the Harlem Shake.
You know how everyone puts gasoline in a hornet's nest?
Yeah.
I want to try that so bad.
I got some gasoline. We can get
But I don't have any hornets.
When I move to Vegas, I'm gonna force you to do the locusts in your house challenge.
Yeah, when there's locust season,
Yeah.
you should just leave your doors open.
I know. I'm gonna make a way for them to enter your house.
Yeah, it's like for a week or two, it's like on every single sidewalk. Like as you're walking, there looks like there's like hundreds, and then they just randomly all go away for some reason. I think they come out
For you,
And when you
collect them.
walk, they hop away from you like a wave.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's cool.
I'm gonna collect them in a big bag and then just like put them in your pool.
Where do they come from?
West Virginia.
Alright, in the meantime, what are the other things? You were bringing up the Transformers?
Yeah, there's this video clip of him in like a voice session, and JK fans send it to us all the time. Really? All the time. Our inbox is full of it. It went big on TikTok. So yeah, when I first started social media, I did it because it was a good distraction from what I talked about earlier with what happened to my mom and stuff like that. I decided when I went on social media to make people laugh, it made me laugh, it made them laugh, and it was therapeutic, right? So I did a lot of, I was a class clown, as a matter of fact, at the academy. Instead of getting the award for like the best athlete or best report writer, I got the class clown award. Oh, and that was just me. And I still have a sense of humor, but you know, it's dwindled with age and experience and just things that have happened in my life.
It's refined itself. His comedy's like next level now.
Honestly, the reason why I transitioned from comedy stuff was we were having a lot of civil unrest between cops and police officers, that I felt like the direction my page was going was more useful if I helped people understand what we did. And just laughing about the job and making fun of the job felt counterproductive. It just added to the cops are idiots.
Oh, you didn't want them to use you more as an example to support their argument?
Yeah. And I got in trouble a couple times already by my staff. They wanted to protect my First Amendment, honor my First Amendment rights, but at the same time, they're like, "You're never going to promote at our agency if you still do stupid stuff." So one of the first things, I had, and at the time I had time on my hands to be a little bit more creative. So I set up a little boom mic, and the mic wasn't even working. I put a wired lavalier mic on it and a black drop screen, and I pretended to do a voice, because I used to like to do impressions and stuff, and one of the ones I could do was Optimus Prime voice.
Dude.
Especially on a microphone, it would sound a little better. Oh, there it is. You want to watch it first? It's better than me describing it.
Gene, let's give it a go. Here we go. Autobots, I cannot come on this ride. a little less awe, okay? Try something different here. Emotion.
I got you. Okay. No, I got it.
Cannot come on this ride.
It's hella funny.
I wasn't expecting
Those are my daughter's headphones too.
Autobots, I cannot come on this ride. Yeah, Aram, I don't even know what that was. He's dying here, okay? You basically replacing all of the old. Hey, let's stop that.
I feel you.
Hey, there you go, okay. Autobots, I cannot come on this ride.
So stupid me.
Your humor is like exactly what this room is. Dude.
That's our chief.
It's in there still, man. Come on.
He refined it.
Come
dude.
on, dude. It's there.
The most recent post of that went 6.5 million views, right? My mistake is that I cut it off at 59 seconds. Because in order for it to be monetized, it has to be a minute long. So I didn't get any.
One more.
No, I just need a little.
So many people were sending that because they didn't. Most people didn't know that was you. They were sending it because they said it looked like you. Yeah. And they were saying it as a joke, like, check it out, it's Aram Choe.
You're like, holy shit, that's really.
Yeah, and I was like, I think that is him.
That's freaking funny.
I gotta find the In My Feelings one though.
Oh, dude, that was crazy when I really realized that was you. I'm like, I think that's actually him. When was that?
I want to say 2015, 2016.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then the Kiki channel. I don't know when that was, but I was actually. I was sitting at home with my wife. We were gonna have a date day, and then I'm like, I gotta do this. People messaged me and said, you know, the cop dancing videos are really good. I'm not a good dancer. I'm like, but as I'm getting in the car to leave, I'm like, Liz, you have 5 minutes? She's like, yeah. I'm gonna just change into this. I have a fake cop uniform too.
You have a fake cop uniform?
Yeah, because I can't use departmental stuff. So I have a black uniform that no patches with a fake badge, and just go with me on this one. And it literally took 5 minutes because I knew I wasn't gonna dance. So we put the car in drive. I live in a quiet cul-de-sac, and it crept. I stepped out of the car to do it, and I leaned back like I fell, and I tweaked my sunglasses. When I got back in the car, I went to go turn off the tape. I said, okay, let's see how it goes. I posted it, changed, and went back, and then like my phone blew up. Like, oh my gosh, this thing is everywhere. It's on reaction videos on YouTube.
That's good.
Yeah, so that was the one that took me. I had like maybe 7,000 followers at that point, and that one took me like 10 or 15. You know, that's what really. And I always tell people that want to get big on social media, hit the 10,000 mark. I think that on Instagram, for at least, that's what kind of makes the difference. I think, because if you follow a page and you go to the guy's profile, it's like 5,000, 6,000 now. But if you see 10,000 followers, maybe it's worth following. And so I think that's what happened. A lot of people said, no, he's worth following. And so that's where it grew from there.
That's crazy.
But another Renaissance man in the building.
Yeah, this is. And again, luckily, if I had just been a regular guy doing that and did it, nobody would pay attention to that video. But because it was a cop, the niche thing really did help with my following.
Man, dude, I want to see more videos where doing dumb shit like that.
Lieutenant Choe.
What other impressions can you do? Can you do Bane, probably?
No, I think that was it. That was really the only one I could.
Can you still do that with your voice?
Maybe with a mic, like Autobots transform.
That's pretty crazy,
dude, that's pretty
yo.
good.
That's pretty wild.
How does it get there?
You should do that through the police intercom when the next person.
So I did get in trouble for doing that at work. So when this was going out, I made it. I said I could do it at work, right? And record somebody or have somebody record me doing that through the mic and say something stupid like, "Make a full and complete stop," you know. And so I did something like that, and I posted it, and the chief said, "Okay, you can't do that on duty." So I took it down. So
Was this already Almani?
yeah.
Damn, they didn't have that humor there? I thought they would be like,
What if they didn't want other copycats? If they didn't have humor, they would have made me get rid of it altogether. But it's using department property, and I didn't even think about that. I'm like,
But when you become chief, you could do whatever the fuck you want.
You're probably gonna have a comedy squad just for.
We could be your comedy squad.
And the reason why it was mitigated was because it was received so positively, through the public. You know, like,
too much attention?
no, it was good. It was good. It was
Good publicity?
Yeah, good publicity
In a tough time?
Yeah. So
I think if your uniform was like Reno 911, with the guy with the short shorts, what's his name?
Lieutenant Dangle.
but you also see cops that kind of go too silly, like the TikTok cops, right?
TikTok cops.
And then you lose credibility from the other cops, the real cops. And so I was trying to towing that fine line where I was like, I still want the respect of cops, especially the cops I work with, because one day I may want to be their supervisor. And how are you going to take your supervisor seriously if you're not respected by your guys because you're dancing to popular songs and stuff?
But what if it was like the other way, where
bodies for a while, and then
you do reach like a high point, and then you become a dancing fun cop?
Yeah, maybe. The reason why I can't see it now is because as I gained my following, I felt like I was responsible for the image of the profession. And I got really lucky. As I started getting more notoriety, this group called Humanizing the Badge, which was made up of other popular cops, Mike the Cop, Officer Daniels, Deputy Hookem and Bookem, they had reached out to me and said, do you want to join our group? We travel the country. And I'm thinking to myself, sure, I'd like to travel the country. The first place I went to was Detroit.
Oh, wow.
And Detroit was heavily hurt by not just the disparity between cops and the public, but the economy. Yeah. I don't know if you remember, Detroit was like a booming auto mecca, and those houses, a lot of those communities were abandoned. I got to see that firsthand. And I saw the cops were really demoralized. And I'm like, they're not going to know who we are, but they knew who we were, and when we showed up to these different precincts, it just, their faces lit up, and they were motivated. Oh, thanks for coming. Like, that's the impact we have. And then some of these other guys that still stayed in the group, they felt like that was their mark on how to improve law enforcement, and I didn't really see myself that way. I always felt like I could give something more, and right about that time, we had the Ferguson, the St. Louis, the Missouri, and all that stuff. And I'm like, I just don't want to make fun of the profession anymore. I want to do something a little bit more meaningful. So I started. Bless you. Don't ever do that again. Just kidding. I wanted to do more of the historical, the Now You Know videos that I do now. And that's what really actually catapulted my stuff. I was stuck around 25, 30,000. And now I'm like 122, and a lot of those videos, I learned that people not only want to be entertained, but they want to learn something, right? And if you,
it's called infotainment.
Yes, and infotainment will just people. That's worth following. I learned something today that's worth that added value to my life. It's more useless information, and so I try to come up with those videos now.
Algorithm loves it more too.
You are a guru, man. Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but if that means I know stuff, I'll take it.
I don't know what it means either, but that's why I'm not one.
I just lucky circumstances.
Nah, dude, you hustle your buns, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes to the detriment. If it wasn't for my wife pulling the reins back, because otherwise I chase every rainbow, right? This is how I'm kind of programmed. I want, a lot of people don't know that 911 Strong was actually a supplement company. Did I tell you guys that last time?
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, 911 Strong was America's first online supplement company dedicated to our nation's heroes. So we're like bodybuilding.com. So a lot of military people, probably around your time, they like to get jacked, right? Jacked 3D. But a lot of the online stores wouldn't send it to the APOs or FPOs. And I figured out a way to do that through the U.S. Postal Service. And the biggest distributor was bodybuilding.com, and they wouldn't do it. A lot of times families would have to buy it, and then the families would send it to the APO, FPO bases. Wow. And the reason why bodybuilding.com wouldn't do it is because their big warehouses were set up for UPS, and then it was just been more time and money for them to do APO, FPO. So I got hooked up with a company called NRGX, who sold something called Tren 13 Ethyl, which was like a pro hormone that was really popular.
I love Tren.
Yeah, and I talked to the owner. His name was Joshua Smith, and I told him, "Hey, I'm a cop. I'm trying to start this online business, and this is what I want." He says, "No problem. Once you get your retailer license, I'll hook you up to large volume wholesale prices." So I became the really cheap avenue to get Tren 13 Ethyl and some of the other products that company sold. And then I also sold Jack 3D. I went to the post office and said, "Can I send these things?" They said, "Yeah, absolutely. The military hasn't banned it, and you can send it as long as the military hasn't banned it." So APO, FPOs were willing to take it, and I did. And little by little, military,
they talk.
Local cops go, "Hey, you can get Jack through 911 Strong. So I said, I'm gonna start an Instagram page, and people started following that. And I think I got up to 3,000 for the business, and I was kind of proud of that. And then there was a guy in 2000, I don't remember, 2012, 2013, named James Board. He was the European World Series of Poker champion. He was an English guy, and his best friend was a business partner named Jamie Watmo, and he was a British Special Forces guy. And they were partners, entrepreneurs, and they would buy acquired businesses, and they made me an offer, and it was a really good offer to take over the business, and it came with a 1% royalty. So bought me out, but they wanted an American face to run the business, to run the social media, because they liked the message behind 911 Strong. 911's an American thing, America's military, and they wanted to tap into that market, but they knew that I kind of developed myself as a face for the company, and they wanted to keep it that way. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take that lump sum and that forever 1%, as long as all I have to do is post about the company. After they acquired it, a month ran by, nothing. 2 months went by, nothing. 3 months. I'm like, what are you guys doing with my business here? You know, I'm ready to transition it. Oh, we're getting back to you. And then James Board stopped talking to me. He wouldn't respond. So Jamie, what's going on? Well, we're having a falling out, and we're just trying to figure out how we're going to separate the businesses.
But you already got your lump sum by now.
Yes. And so now a year's gone by, and I'm like, what do I do here? So I contact an attorney, and I'm like,
Can I have it back?
I'm like, do I give them the money back? You know, I've already spent some of it. And they're all, no. They actually, after, I forget what the period was, but it was definitely under a year, it's considered abandoned. And you have to send them a letter asking them their intent. And so I sent them a letter saying, hey, I'm declaring that you guys abandoned the business. Please get back to me within 30 days, 60. I forget what the letter said, that they turned prepared, and they never did.
So it just stays abandoned?
Stays abandoned. I had the business. I killed the business because I was kind of just in limbo, and the business was suffering now because I wasn't continuing, because they were supposed to move operations and take over the logistics and everything. And I didn't want to invest more money to it, thinking that this is their responsibility. So the business died. I made more money from it than I ever thought I would ever as a retailer anyway.
With getting the lump sum? That's nice.
And I could have cried about, hey, you guys have breached contract. I'm entitled to the 1% estimated, but I never did. I was like, I made out, you know.
They had probably bigger problems they were dealing with.
And I have 911 Strong as a social media page that already had 3,000 followers or something like that.
And per contract and the fact that the thing expired, you're allowed to keep it?
Yeah, right. Still to this day, no content from contact, and that was over 10 years ago now.
I never heard from them again.
Yeah. So after everything happened with my mom and everything, I decided to jump on social media. I never had a public page, and I said, what better page than to use 911 Strong that already had a head start to make that my page to make funny videos and stuff. So that's how that started.
Dang, you never ran into either of these guys?
No, because they're British. They're English.
Oh.
And to them, what they paid me was good money to me, but for them it was probably chump change. They probably chalked it off as a loss.
Gee, yeah, whatever was going on in their life probably was like all they were thinking about.
If they have other acquisitions going on or whatever.
Damn, dude.
And then really, because of the international thing, it makes things very difficult. But the company that they used is I forget the name of the company, but my testimonial is still on there about how smooth the transaction went.
Oh, damn. So from the outside, everything probably looked pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything was on the up and up. I contacted an attorney because I didn't want to be, eventually I had plans for the money, which was eventually to buy another house, our future house. And I was like, am I going to lose my house? Am I going to have to give the money back? And because...
Thank God you didn't have to give it back.
Yeah. So they abandoned it. That's exactly what they did.
Good thing that there's something like already in precedence for what happens in this case, and it's very like clear cut.
Right. I don't think business is ever clear cut, but the one advantage I had was it was international. And that really circumvented some of the... If it had been within the States, that would have been a different story.
It's harder for them to pursue. Yeah.
Your life is interesting,
yeah,
bro.
I've had a blessed life, man. I've had a really blessed life. Yeah. We didn't even talk about how I was a national points leader for BMX racing when I was 12.
Oh yeah, your BMX stuff. What the heck?
Well, luckily you're gonna come back another time.
Yeah.
We'll see you again.
Oh, all BMX day.
Why don't we all race him at the Whittier Narrows?
Oh, dude. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, that was awesome.